Hello everyone, this is Favorites. Welcome back to another video. So in this video, I'm going to be defeating every single boss using the Zenith. As you can see, I reforged it to Legendary for the best outcome. As some of you might already know, I did make a video about me obtaining the Zenith for the very first time. If you want to go check out that video, the link will be in the description, and there might be a card as well. So obviously, the Zenith is an absolute beast. It can shred everything, and I absolutely love it. So today, in this video, I'm going to be using the Zenith to defeat every single boss in Terraria. I will be defeating the main bosses, the main 15 bosses, I believe. And yes, I will list them. So to start off with, we'll have King Slime, the Eye of Cthulhu, the Brain of Cthulhu, the Eater of Worlds, Queen Bee, Skeletron, the Wall of Flesh. In hard mode, we have the Destroyer, the Twins, Skeletron Prime, Plantera, Duke Fishron, Golem, Lunatic Cultist, and finally the Moonlord. I didn't mention Deerclops, Queen Slime, and the Empress of Light. I will not be defeating those in this video, since they're not really required to progress further into the game. I will also just let you know I am in expert mode at the moment, and I'm also going to use two characters for this video on two different worlds. So I'm currently on my corruption world, and the other one I'll be using is for the Crimson. So in the Crimson, I will defeat the Brain of Cthulhu as well as all of the bosses in the nights that spawn at night. So that will be the Eye of Cthulhu and all the Mech bosses. In this world, I'll defeat every other boss. So I guess without further ado, let's get straight into defeating our first boss. Alright, so now it's time for our first boss, which is going to be King Slime. I do have the slime crown here to summon him. I guess we'll just summon him. And he's coming from this side. Yeah. So that's King Slime. That's King Slime. That probably took about a second or something. So that was the first boss. That was King Slime. The next boss we're going to defeat is the Eye of Cthulhu. That will be in my Crimson world. Alright, so we are now in my Crimson world to fight our second boss of the video, the Eye of Cthulhu. I do summon him with the suspicious looking eye, so let's get into it. It's coming from this side. And in a single blink, the Eye of Cthulhu has been defeated. Now it is time for the Brain of Cthulhu fight, which will happen in the Crimson biome. Alright, so we are now in the Crimson after defeating the Eye of Cthulhu. It's now time for the Brain of Cthulhu. So for this one, I will break the 3 Crimson hearts, since I don't have the bloody spine with me. I will just go and break these Crimson hearts over here. Alright. That's Crimson heart number 1. That's Crimson Heart number 2, and got a Crimson Heart. And with this one, Crimson Heart number 3, we spawn the Eye of Cthulhu. Heroes minions, you are automatically killed, and just like that, the Brain of Cthulhu goes down and he is defeated. So now with the Eye of Cthulhu down, our next boss will be the Eater of Worlds, the counterpart for the Brain of Cthulhu. This will be in my Corruption World, so back to the Corruption World we go to face the Eater of Worlds. Alright, we are now in the Corruption, and we are now ready to face our next boss, the Eater of Worlds. There's a Corruptor there. So this is the counterpart of the Brain of Cthulhu, who we just defeated. He has to deal with a lot of enemies. And also, this is right next to the ocean. This was the original Corruption, but I changed it to the Hallow. So I can't actually defeat the Eater of Worlds there because I have to summon him in the Corruption. So here we are. I do have the worm food, which I'm going to summon the Eater of Worlds with. And let's get into it. Eater of Worlds. Have to wait for all this segments to come out. And that is the Eater of Worlds. Despite having a lot of segments, we still managed to defeat him very, very easily. So, with the Eater of Worlds out of the way, our next boss is going to be Queen Bee. So, off to the jungle. Alright, and now we are in the jungle, ready for our next boss fight, up against Queen Bee. I do have the Abomination, although there is a hive right next to me, which I haven't gone into. I'm still going to summon her with the Abomination. So, let's get into it now. There she is. And just with one sweep, the Queen Bee has been defeated. We will be back in the jungle later, but for now, our next boss is going to be Skeletron. So off to the dungeon we go, and this will also be in my Crimson World as well. So off to my Crimson World for the Skeletron fight. Alright, we are back in my Crimson World to face Skeletron. So the reason why I'm in the snow and not the dungeon is because I've already killed Skeletron in this world, so I can only use the Clothier Voodoo Doll, which I do have. So it turns out you can use this as an accessory, and with this accessory you can actually kill the Clothier, which is why I'm here. I have the Clothier here. He's going to be my test subject. So I'm going to do this, and hopefully we will summon Skeletron with the Clothier Voodoo Doll equipped. And here it is. And just like that, the Clothier died. Skeletron awoke and pretty much instantly has been defeated. We do have to clue this red hat here as a peace offering. But yeah, that is Skeletron. Our next boss is actually the final boss of pre-hard mode, and that is the Wall of Flesh. That will be in my corruption world. So off to the corruption world and down to the underworld to defeat the last boss of pre-hard mode, the Wall of Flesh. Alright, so here we are in the underworld, where we will face our last boss for pre-hard mode, the Wall of Flesh. This boss allows you to enter hard mode once defeated. So, I am wearing Taskmaster boots, by the way, that's why I can stand on this. I have the guide for Doll here. So without further ado, we'll say goodbye to the guide and hello to the Wall of Flesh. And there it is. And just like that, the Wall of Flesh has been defeated, and hard mode would have just started if this was my first attempt. This did 11,000 damage per second. So that pretty much killed him instantly. I will get rid of these. So now, having defeated the last boss of pre-hard mode, we now fight the hard mode bosses, starting off with the mech bosses, the Destroyer, the Twins, and Skeletron Prime. Those fights will happen in my Crimson World, so off to the Crimson World to fight our first bosses for hard mode. Alright, we are now back in the Crimson World to face the first bosses for hard mode. We are now going to face the mech bosses, the Destroyer, the Twins, and Skeletron Prime. So to start off with, I will summon the Destroyer, then I'll kill the Twins, and then Skeletron Prime. So with the Mechanical Worm, let's summon our first mech boss, the Destroyer. And just like that, without even having a chance to come back, the Destroyer has been defeated. So yes, the Destroyer had 120,000 health, but the Zenith absolutely shredded its health, dealing just about 20,000 damage per second, which is absolutely insane. With one mech boss down, our next mech boss will be the Twins, summoning both Spazmatism and Retinazer. Here's Retinazer, and here's Spazmatism. I'm gonna get rid of Spazmatism first. Spazmatism is down. And just like that, both the Twins, Spazmatism and Retinazer are done. They have been defeated. And now it is time for our last mech boss, Skeletron Prime. Let's go. Could get rid of its forearms, but we don't necessarily need to. And just like that, and just before sunrise, Skeletron Prime, the last mech boss, has been defeated. So with all of that, all of the mech bosses, the Destroyer, the Twins, and Skeletron Prime have been defeated. We now have a solar eclipse, but aside from that, our next boss will be Plantera. So now off to the jungle to face Plantera. Alright, so we are now back in the underground jungle to face Plantera. I have managed to find Plantera Bob here. And I think I will just use the space. I can pretty much tank it with full solar armor. So without further ado, let's kill Plantera. Plantera is coming from the right side. Let's go Tail Shell. And here she is. Yeah, second phase now. And just like that, Plantera has been defeated. So now after Plantera, our next boss will be Duke Fishron. And this fight will happen in the ocean in my corruption world. So now back to the corruption world and into the ocean for the Duke Fishron fight. Alright, so we are now in the ocean to fight the king of the underworld, Duke Fishron. This does require the truffle worm to be fished into the ocean. So, without further ado, let's fish and let's summon Duke Fishron. And here he is. And already into his second phase. And now his third phase. Where is he? And that is Duke Fishron defeated in the ocean. So, our next boss is going to be Golem, so back to the jungle. Alright, so we are back in the jungle. We have entered the jungle temple full of lizards and flying snakes. There's another lizard boss, I'll take that. And we are here to fight the guardian of the jungle, Golem. He can be summoned using the lizard power cell at the Golem altar. So without further ado, let's summon the statue. And just like that, the Golem does not stand a chance against us, and he has been defeated. After Golem, we will now head straight to the dungeon to face the Lunatic Cultist. Alright, so we are now at the entrance to the dungeon. As you can see here, we have the Lunatic Devotees and the Cultist Archers ready to summon the Lunatic Cultist. If I just kill these guys, we can summon the Lunatic Cultist. And also a very interesting thought, the Lunatic Cultist uses the Golem soundtrack. Well, let's get into it. And already with that, going And Cultist is almost more than halfway and already defeated. So now, we're in a bit of a pickle because we do have a pillar right next to us. So, I think for this video, I will also include the Lunar Pillars, starting off with the Vortex Pillar, which happened to spawn right next to the dungeon, where the Hallow is. We are already halfway to breaking the Vortex Pillar's shield. And with that now, the Vortex Pillar's shield has broken. And we can now absolutely shred its health. With that now, the Vortex Pillar has been defeated. That is pillar number 1 out of the 4. So next, you will face the Solar Pillar. And now it is time for the second pillar, the Solar Pillar. And here we are. In my opinion, I think the Solar Pillar is probably the easiest pillar. Just because it's very easy to, you know, get away from enemies. Yeah. Having killed that Crawl Speed just then, we are now halfway to breaking the Solar Pillar shield. Oh, using torches. My goodness. And with that, the Solar Pillar shields have broken. We can now shred its health. And in only a matter of seconds, the Solar Pillar has been defeated. So with 2 pillars remaining, our next pillar will be the Nebula Pillar. And now it's time for the Nebula Pillar. Here we are. Right in the desert. In my opinion, I would find the Nebula Pillar probably one of the hardest pillars, if not the hardest pillar. Especially as I'm part of the melee class. What do you think? You can put your answers down in the comments. Which pillar is your hardest and which one is your easiest? And with that, we are halfway to breaking the Nebula Pillar shield. Obviously with the Zenith, the Nebula Pillar is a piece of cake. The Nebula Pillar shield is now broken, and we can now destroy it. And with that now, our third pillar has been defeated. The Nebula Pillar has been destroyed. And now with one pillar remaining, we have the Stardust Pillar before Moonlord. And now it's time for the Stardust Pillar. The last pillar before we encounter the one and only Moonlord. And with that now, we are halfway to breaking the Stardust Pillar shield. Okay, heal. And with that now, the Stardust Pillar's shield has been broken and we can destroy it. And just like that, the Stardust Pillar has been defeated and impending doom approaches. It is now time to face the one and only Moonlord. Alright, it's now time for the Moonlord fight. While we're waiting for Moonlord to spawn, if you're enjoying the video so far, please leave a like and also don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And also feel free to check out my other videos as well. And without further ado, here is Moonlord. The last boss of Terraria. With the Zenith already, the first eye is gone. In a matter of seconds. And now the second eye is being defeated. And with that, the core has been opened. See the crazy amount of damage it does to the core. And just like that, the Moonlord has been defeated. And there you have it, the last boss of Terraria, the Moonlord, has been defeated. Well, that is all the bosses that are going to be fought in today's video. So I would like to thank all you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please make sure to like and also subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. So yeah, thanks all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, so we are now at the entrance to the dungeon. And over here we can see the Lunatic devotees and the Cultist archers ready to... Oh, Pyre Invasion, are you kidding? Ah, Pyre Invasion. Alright, I guess I have to do Pyre Invasion then. I'm gonna just teleport back, deal with this Pyre Invasion, and then I'll continue with the Lunatic Cultist. Ah, haha, why solar eclipse? Anything? Oh wait. You just dropped an Azar, no way. So now I'm getting the vertebra, huh? Now I'm getting the vertebra. I still don't know how I got the Nazar as well, that was weird. I somehow got the Nazar. So also while I was looking back at the recordings, I realized that Duke Fishron was not killed by the Zenith, it was actually killed by a fallen star. I don't know how that happened. I honestly don't know how a fallen star managed to pretty much finish off Duke Fishron. That's insane.